If I could flip one switch, I would flip the switch of having this thought of not just as public health, but also defense.
Yeah.
So that's the first switch. And you're starting to see that. In the President Trump's recent budget, there's a line item around bioradar, for example, which I think is like a good first step in this direction. So
like, what is the golden dome for biodefense?
Exactly right. So how do we actually deal with this stuff? So there's two big buckets from my standpoint. One is countermeasures. Okay, so something happens, how do we treat it? Right? Obviously, we had Operation Warp Speed. It was like the fastest development of a vaccine. All that, like, fine. Okay, right? Like, there's that sort of stuff. You could invest a lot in making that better. Okay, there are there's not an infinite, those little lock and key thing I mentioned. There's only so many ways over the billions of years of biology moving that viruses have invented to get into our cells. Mm-hmm. They are incredible freak machines, but there's only like so many doors that they're opening. We should cut all those doors off. We've cut them off, by the way, on our phones. Okay, like we are antivirus, all this stuff, right? But we ourselves are unpatched. Okay, we just let those things in, and we trust that our immune system, natural immune system, will just do its best to fend them off.
Yeah.
But we should have for every major class of virus, we should have an off-the-shelf pan solution for any variant of it.
Yeah.
That's technically impossible today, but I don't think it's technically impossible in the scope of what could be done with biotechnology. So that's countermeasures. While you're building those, you would like to know what's going on. So we have, at the moment, basically little to no monitoring of what's going on with viruses. Like, what is showing up and where is it showing up in the way that we monitor, for example, for missiles. Okay, we literally have in space. I don't know if you know about this. They're in space, orbiting the planet, just 24/7, protecting us from missiles. A thing that has not hit the United States ever. Okay. Meanwhile, we have a viral, I'm not going to call it an attack, but a viral event in COVID-19 that put us on our ass.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And we have no monitoring for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would monitoring look like? All right, so what you should do is monitor in the places that people are like our inlets into the country, like our borders, our airports, or places like that. You should be monitoring all the time. We actually do a program, Ginkgo, with CDC, where we monitor in like 10 airports in the US. We also run a program with the Qatari government in Doha Airport in Qatar, which gets like MENA region. And what you do is when planes fly into the airport, we collect wastewater from the plane. So it's anonymized, we don't know who it came from or anything like that. And we look in the wastewater for viruses, 60 different pathogens. And if we find one, we remember the DNA reading technology I mentioned? We read the DNA and we get the variant. Remember the variants from COVID? We get the variant and we put that into a database. And then we also, this is important, we store the sample. Why is that important? Well, if you had a program like this, monitoring at airports, say around Wuhan in 2019, we might be able to go back in a freezer right now, controlled by us in the United States, and pull out a tube and say, hey, what was in here?
Yeah.
Okay, but we do not have that monitoring, and so we have to have fights, and it's an intelligence failure, right? And so that type of monitoring is imminently doable today with the technology of DNA reading, which is also called genomics. And so we should be collecting environmental sampling and looking for the DNA that's in there for infectious disease all over the world, and then have a baseline. And if you see a baseline and then you see a weird spike of some new thing, that's like a missile taking off. We should go see what that is.
Yeah.